Hi friends, Alex Kai's here. It's October and it's time for our annual Party at the Patch. And a market update.
I'm very excited. The venue looks so good. They really stepped it up this year. We have twice the amount of space we did last year, and there's like fairy lights everywhere, tables, hay bale, photo op. It looks so good.
So we decided to throw this party just as an opportunity to say thank you to, clients and friends and family, and just have everybody together, give them some food, let them explore the pumpkin patch on their own, and just hang out. A few people always show up just from putting out the invite onto YouTube, so it's very cool. I love the power of the internet, and I love meeting you guys. So hope to see you here next year too.
We have a cool photo op right here. They've set up this fun little tic-tac-toe station with hay bale seats. There's like a duck toss. That's fun. And then lots of tables over here. It looks really good. We were here last year and they've definitely stepped up their game. So if you're looking for a good pumpkin patch to visit, Craven Farms is where it's at. We're still getting over from jet lag, and Seely's really suffering from our trip from London, but it's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
It's a couple days later now. It was so fun to see all of you at the pumpkin patch. I think we had about 100 people come, and it was just nice to see all of our people in one room. So thanks. And if you weren't there, hope to see you next year. So let's dive into what the market's doing a little bit. It's a pretty tumultuous time. I mean, interest rates are up, sales price is down. Kendall and I were talking about if we would rather buy this last January or today. And really, I think that personally, I would prefer a bit of a more competitive market with a lower interest rate, because you're going to pay more for your house, but your monthly payment is probably going to be a little bit lower. The long-term ramifications of that are pretty significant. So these days, sellers are hesitating putting their house on the market just because they know that buyers are a little bit more wary. They're a little bit more picky. Things aren't going to sell in multiple offers in 2 days. But that being said, I am having a couple clients who are getting into situations where they're bidding. Maybe not hugely over asking, but sometimes a little bit. And also, not getting really everything that they want. So there's still a little bit of competition out there.
So here's a bit of an idea how the market's moving here. This is the median sales price for the Seattle area. A year ago, in October 21, it was sitting at about 900,000, and we saw, a crazy spring, and went up to about over 1.1 million. And now, just the cyclical nature of real estate, we're back down to about 950. So an increase of about $50,000 on the median sales price in the Seattle area for this past year.
In our own house, I want to brag for a minute, just because I'm kind of impressed with myself for the projects that I've taken on renovation-wise, and also impressed with some of the work that we've hired out. So you may have known from Instagram that our ceiling was caving in. We ended up putting a beam, so we hired this out. It's not completely finished yet. It's still wrapped in plastic, and the wall needs to be fixed a little bit, but it's coming along, and I kind of like how it looks. What I took on was this wall here. I'll show you the fireplace in a minute. We ended up doing an electric fireplace. There's room to put the TV right here. We're gonna save up for a Samsung frame, but we've just had a lot of expenses in the past month, so we're gonna wait on the TV. And then I've also put a cavity here so that I can put a built-in bookshelf. You can kind of see that this is the old wall, and I just pushed it out about 12 inches. I added this rounded corner, so it kind of softens that corner. And yeah, I'm pretty impressed with how it turned out. I'm gonna hang the TV in a little bit. Maybe I'll show you. If you did make it to the pumpkin patch, we ended up hiring a photographer just to take some family portraits and some candid shots. So you should be getting an email with your portraits in a very short amount of time. It was fun. With all of the house projects and running a business out of our house, I usually have to go and do a dump run probably once a month. So I have a couple like cardboard boxes and like the vent hood that we took down in order to put the beam up, and all of that has to go, and I'm just gonna load up the car and take it to the transfer station. Here's a lamp that broke. Styrofoam packing, new speakers I got that'll fit into the shelves. So let's just address all this talk about a crash in the real estate market. Honestly, I don't really see it happening. Prices are dropping for sure, and competition has fallen, and houses are sitting on the market for a little bit longer, but it's just kind of back to normal. I think I talked about this last month, and I'm still seeing it. As you saw in the median price graph, prices are starting to level out. They dropped from the summer prices, and now it's starting to level, and it's probably going to go back up in the springtime. So if you're thinking about buying a house, I would definitely target this winter, sometimes before the new year, and really try to find a deal before then. And if you're thinking about selling, I would hold off for a little while and wait until the spring when things will most likely start to pick up again. Everything's back up into swing. It was nice to get away out of town for a little bit. We went to London for about a week and a half to visit Kendall's sister and new baby. And while it was a lot of fun, I don't know if I would recommend traveling internationally with a 8-hour time difference with an 11-month-old. It was kind of difficult. But we're back in the swing of things. It picked up as soon as we got back home. So it's nice to be home. The market's still clipping along. I guess my biggest point of advice for anybody watching the real estate market these days is to not pay attention to the headlines. I think a lot of people are using scare tactics in order to get clicks, and I do not see the market crashing. It has slowed down a little bit, but it's still growing. We saw a $50,000 increase over the course of 1 year in median home price, and that's pretty good. That's a 5.5% increase in a very tumultuous time. Sure, it's not as good as like the 20 or 30% market increases that we were seeing over the past couple of years, but it's still pretty good. I've never had anybody say that they regret buying any sort of property. So while I don't want to pressure anybody into stretching their budget and buying something that they're not comfortable with, I do think that you probably will not regret it. Kendall and I purchased our first house very much stretching our budget, and 5 or 6 years later, it's definitely paid off. So if you're thinking about making a home in Seattle, send me a message. Bye.